I mean, and
would you do it? Would
it just disappear?
If I was a hot girl, would I do OnlyFans?
Yeah, and where would you draw the line on your OnlyFans?
It's
like, are you just doing the lingerie stuff?
It's a really,
which basically is just Instagram.
You have to look at your choices. You can do this content, which seems pretty easy, and say you're making $1 million a month, or you can work 40 hours a week at a job you hate. Like, it's a, I don't.
And never make $1 million.
I like to think I wouldn't do it, but it's enticing. I get it.
I'd like to think I wouldn't do it either, and I'm glad I don't ever. I'm not ever gonna have the opportunity to have to decide.
Yeah.
Well,
let's put it that
well,
way.
I mean, I guess I have had the opportunity. I did the Feet Finder, or whatever it's called.
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there. You guys are about to be right on the site too. They're gonna love you.
Oh,
and then
these
you'll
actually sick ass socks.
I've got ugly feet.
So I was just in Japan.
I don't think anyone has good looking feet.
If anybody's been to Japan, they got this Family Mart, which is where all the best like gas station food is, and it's like legendary spot. They're all over every corner.
So those are just gas station socks.
Gas station socks, yeah, but they're super sick because you can just go to the gas stations. We would just do this little tour where we would stop and get a beer every corner, and they're $1 or $1.50 to get a big IPA, and you can just walk from corner to corner, explore the city. Yeah,
I want to go to Japan. So I guess we should start with this. You guys formed Skiing is Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
You guys were in Japan. Were you both in Japan? Just you?
Just Jason.
Just
That's
me,
unfortunate.
Yep.
In Japan, probably for a skiing trip, I
Yep.
assume? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Got the introductions out of the way.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible. I want to go to Japan. So $1 a beer and just hop?
Yeah. Right now the yen's at like a $10,000 low or a 10-year low. So it's like, I don't know, probably $1 for every $5 USD.
That's so nice. I was just in Canada, and we went skiing in Banff, and you felt like a god because everything, we were like, hey, everything's 30% off here. So you'd be like, let's get a pizza and a beer. It's like $12. I go, yeah, but not really.
Right.
And it was so nice because, like, am I getting fooled or not? And then you look at your bank account, and those, like, 15s, 16s were, like, 12s and 11. I was like, this is nice.
May as well be free.
Yeah, and then we flew right from – one of my buddies, we flew right from Canada to here right before I moved here. And I was like, damn, $15 means $15. And it's one beer.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah,
tough,
it's rough
man.
around
It's
here,
tough,
for sure.
Yeah.
No, my first time in, I went to Europe, spring break this week, actually, so that's cool. But I went there to Denmark just to hang out with some homies, and my first day there, I didn't know anything about the transaction fees or anything like that, and we went to an Irish bar. It was after we went to a football game, and it was like a 5-4 finish, and we were just wasted, and so we brought a couple Danish dudes back to the Irish bar, and I was like, yo, let me get you guys some shots. And so I asked the bartender, I was like, yo, what's your premier shot? And he's like, oh, I got this nice whiskey. And I was like, yeah, pour them up, me and these 5 guys. We're like, all right, sounds good. So he pours them up, and they came in these nice like little chandelier glasses, and we were kind of just like,
all right.
we were looking at them like, these are really nice glasses. And so we all cheers, and me and my 3 American buddies all shot them down, like a shot.
Yeah.
And Danish dudes immediately got pissed, like, what are you doing? Don't chug the Middleton. Don't chug the Middleton. And so
the cultures are different.
That's right when I fucked up. And so I paid my bill, and it was 600 kroner or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it's probably not too bad, whatever. I didn't know anything.
Is it reverse?
Yeah, woke up in the morning and checked my credit card, and it was like $250 for that round. And I was like, well, there goes all my souvenir money for my mom. So
yeah,
and I was like,
that's tough when you don't check. Like, all right, this is. I mean, buying top shelf anything is going to screw you, and it's definitely an American thing. We're like, can I get a shot? We're going to put this down in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
I hate the shots, though, here that, like, if I ask for a shot, and I've said this a bunch, I want a shot that's in a shot glass. I don't want the bomb glass
Don't give me
that's
the
full
glass.
because I want to just put it down. I don't want to – if I wanted to sip on this, I'd ask you for, I guess, the exact same thing, whiskey neat, which is just a shot.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting a little more. I hate that because I'm like, this is going down in 2 for sure.
Right.
You're a whiskey guy?
Yes, I'm definitely lean whiskey.
Yeah.
Not a tequila. Are you guys tequila people?
For shots.
For
yeah.
shots?
For shots?
Yeah, I like to drink whiskey.
Take
But probably
tequila
fairly good,
shot,
yeah.
but it's got to be the good tequila.
It has to be good.
Can't
Can't be
I can't
you.
do that shit anymore.
The gold.
No, he could do it. He can definitely.
We
do
all,
it. I've seen
if
it
we got to a point, we all could do it. In college, we'd be like, all right, I'm in a tequila mood, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I think since it's just, I'm like, I'll smell it, and I'm like, no, I'm out.
really.
Good rule of thumb: anything that comes in a plastic bottle, it's like, dude, just
Absolutely not.
get
I think once you graduate college, the plastic bottle stuff's got to go. Yeah. Which, how old are you both?
28.
28?
29.
Okay, yep. 28 as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely in the same boat with like the plastic bottle stuff. Gone.
I think being 28, 29 is such a funny age because you're old enough to know better, but young enough to still do stuff anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You're like in that perfect middle ground. It's
a lot of
fun.
I think our 28, I do not feel 28.
No.
I mean, St. Patty's Day, I was like, I'm ready to drink all day. Mm-hmm. And I remember it being like 16, 17, or even college. I'm like, when I'm 28, it's probably like, this shit's going to be done. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll just keep it easy. I'm like, no, we can do this all day. I want to do this all day.
I mean, I think most of us probably thought we were going to have
kids,
wife and kids by now. Like,
that's wild.
And, right. And I think it's kind of that Denver mindset. When people move here, because I'm from the Midwest. And
yeah.
Are you from the Midwest?
Yeah, from Wisconsin.
Yeah, and so you probably see a bunch of people every time you log on Facebook. People are getting rings, And,
it's the Midwest way.
Right, and they're getting married really young.
All my buddies in the South, they're just constantly at weddings.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly at weddings too, but it's not mine. Yeah. And I mean, I live with my girlfriend, but I'm like, sorry, Rach, but no, yeah.
It is fun.
It is. I mean, it is left and right, and it's right now. I'm like, do we have any time to do anything we want to do? I'm just flying. I'm going to Minnesota. I'm going even here. I have a few buddies getting married here. I'm like, yeah, we're doing it in Vail. I'm like, can anyone do something 20 minutes away? That'd be really nice. Yeah. But yeah, it is the Midwest way, and I guess the South. Are you from the South?
I'm actually from Denver.
Are you from Denver?
Littleton. Above, right?
But Midwest way is high school. And if you don't go somewhere big for college, next step, marriage.
Yeah,
and then kids.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm from a really small farm town, so like we always had family businesses there, and so half my friends, I think, only had 67 graduating my entire high school class, and I think maybe 15 of us went to college. So most of them just packed up, headed home, and started their family business, and been grinding ever since. But
how many different family businesses can you have with 67 people? A lot.
Oh,
is it 67 different businesses?
Yeah, honestly, probably about 67. Yeah, a lot of farmers, man. A lot of, like, I don't even know. A lot of them run bowling alleys.
Well, you started something else, which is great. You guys started something else.
Yeah.
When it officially did this? So I've been doing as much research as I can. I almost got creepy and asked for both your personal Instagram accounts. I'm just going to show you a bunch of pictures that I found a little concerning, but not going to do that yet. Don't know you that well. Yeah. You said it started with 20 T-shirts and just a funny slogan.
So we were, I don't know, 15 of us, more or less. We were all living in Breckenridge a couple of years ago, and we had this catchphrase, "Skiing is easy." It was just like something we would shout on the mountain or say, like, just in any scenario, "Skiing is easy." Turned it into a T-shirt, not to sell them. It was just for like the crew. It was just fun, and it was a black shirt in white. It's we still have them.
I should have worn it.
Skiing is easy. Yeah, we should have.
It is a plain black shirt. Says skiing is easy.
Oh, it's biggest acrylic. Yeah.
And we're all living up there, and everyone's been skiing for a long time, so we're all really good skiers and boarders, and so it's just like funny. Everyone's skiing in these shirts that says "Skiing is easy," and we're just constantly getting compliments. People are like, "Oh, I love this, this, and that." So the feedback on it was just really good out of the gate, and that's when the idea was planted. Like, okay.
Bring this a little closer to your mouth more. Yeah.
Got to do something with this. Like the culture's here. And I know in the back of my head, I had always wanted to like do a brand or something that was connected with skiing. Cause I think skiing just has the greatest culture, right? Aprés, like you get it.
Oh, it's a blast.
With your friends.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's such a great culture. And I wanted to bring that to life. And yeah, I think we got those T-shirts made, and then the feedback was great. But it wasn't until like a year and a half later that we actually like sat down. We're like, all right, we're doing this. Mm-hmm. Like, we're making new designs, LLC, this and that. And
I like that. I like anything where it's like, hey, the intention wasn't for this to be a business.
No.
But because it's something you love so much, the feedback was great. Like, we could do something with this.
Yeah.
I think those are the brands that I think succeed the most, and which I looked at your website a ton. I like a lot of your stuff. I mean, I really do. It looks great. Because I hadn't heard of it, and I just got into the skiing culture too. So I I snowboard, but I started doing that in high school, and then I never went to a mountain. I'm from Wisconsin. Like my hill was a legitimate landfill. It's just a garbage dump, and then just go on that. And I'm sure you probably had that out. Yeah, it was like,
that's how it all started.
Just put a bunch of hay bales up, and you went down. So that was it.
A handful of the best skiers I know now are from Iowa. It's hilarious. Yeah. I'm from Colorado. I should be a pro or something.
One of the best skiers I know is from Wisconsin, and it's
wild.
Yeah,
so,
it's crazy. And I just, after college, all my friends started. Our fraternity group was like, hey, we're doing a yearly ski trip. And the last 3 years have been in Colorado. But they've done Jackson Hole. They've done, is it Snowbird in Utah? They've done all those. And I'm like, all right, I love it. It's so much fun. And I think that is great. Like it started with something your friends, and then you built it. It's great.
Well, yeah, but also you guys in Madison got Granite Peak.
Yeah,
you ever been there?
Yep.
We would go from Iowa up to Granite Peak for our college trips. So
we would go ski
because I'm really into park and doing jump stuff. And Granite Peak has the 6-speed high chair, and you can just rip park all day. And so I went there as a kid. Just drove up there. It was like 8 hours for me. But we would ride in Wisconsin all the time. You guys actually were lucky.
Wisconsin has a decent amount of stuff. We have a decent amount of bigger hills, which is great. So we could do it. I remember not the best. I mean, I've gotten significantly better since actually doing a mountain for first time 3 years ago.
For sure.
But I remember being like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. And now I'll go back and do anything in Wisconsin. I'm like, this is a fucking joke. But it's awesome that we at least had that. And I think Wisconsin does have a lot of park stuff. Like, they were like, you know what? If we're not going to go fast, we're at least going to try and do it. Which, speaking of park, not to cut you, but you guys have like a promoted video right now that has come across my phone, I think 20 times in the
Which
last couple. Is whoever's doing a double backflip.
Oh, yeah.
Is it one of you two?
No, it's
okay.
not. It's,
yeah, that was me.
I thought it was you because I think it was under
Almost
your
landed
account.
It was crazy.
Under my personal account. Yeah. No, that's our boys. Shout out Last Run Mafia. That's Mr. Cash.
It took me a few videos to realize he did not land that.
No. But did you see the video we posted today was he threw a triple.
Yeah. Oh, did he? I haven't seen that one
yet. It's like twice as big. So I haven't seen that. Shout out Cash. Shout out Last Run Mafia.
We found these kids, and they just embody the brand perfectly. They're insanely, they're savages. Just throwing triple backflips.
They have like 3 videos on TikTok.
Their slogan is like never call last run. If you're familiar,
never.
That's a big thing. Like
two more runs, skip the last.
Two more, skip the last. But they put that reverse. They're like, fuck that. We're gonna always call last run because skiing is easy. And I was like, yes,
that's perfect. Yeah, you found your crew, your little minions.
It's really just like not taking it all too seriously, having fun with it.
Yeah, you should.
That's the brand, you know.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think you're gonna go? Because I mean, you guys are busy. It's taken 2 weeks for us to do this, which makes sense. But you guys have meetings left and right. Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on a lot of like retail store stuff right now. So just reaching out to like little kind of mom and pop shops. We want to stay like smaller locally with people. So having those conversations with people that have worked in the industry forever and making sure we get our brand into those shops, because we really want to be, in storefronts, but we don't want to be like in the Christie Sports of the industries or the Vail Resorts really at this point. So yeah, just having a lot of conversations with people that have been in the industry forever and working with them to do some retail sales and stuff like that while running the online stuff and promoting the business and building the culture.
So would you consider it more like you guys want to keep it kind of like a streetwear kind of thing? I guess in terms of popularity, we're like, hey, you're not like the Burton or stuff like that. It's
the thing from day one that we put on our mood board when we started putting all this together was a big, like in bold, like no gift shop vibes.
Yeah, I like that.
Because one of the things, not to knock anybody running a business, right? But a lot of you go to downtown Breckenridge and it's just store after store after store.
It's the exact same thing, yeah.
Same stuff, same like just kind of shitty quality shirts, right? And we just wanted to avoid that like the plague, right? Like actually have unique, original designs that really like, I don't know, tap into the culture of skiing. But take a step further with it, not just have like some basic, generic logo of a mountain and whatever, but really like go deep into it. Like we've got a collection dropping tomorrow called Why Not, and it's all about like, okay, drop that cliff. Why not? Send that new line. Why not?
Yeah.
Have another drink at Aprés. Why not? You know, it's like really trying to make it original. And so we've been, from day one, we've tried to steer the brand into something that's like authentic and isn't just like cookie cutter, I guess would be a good way to put it.
I like that because as someone who is like now going to a bunch of mountains for the first time, and you have that like, oh my God, I don't know if I'll ever be back here, like Banff, stuff like that. Like you want to take something home.
Totally.
And you go through those shops and you're like, you're looking for that unique piece that's like, hey, no one else has this from Banff or from Aspen, like your Aspen 96 hat. Like you're going to just get the Banff National Park. You're going to get Vail. You're going to have like this kind of sucks. Like 900 other people have it or every other store has it. There's nothing unique about it. I like that.
In skiing, it's something like as skiers, boarders, people want to wear that on their sleeve. They want to, hey, I'm a skier, right? Mm-hmm. People are really like proud of being a part of that culture and participating like in that sport. And so like from just a purely business side of things, like Jason and I were thinking like, okay, how can we establish an emotional connection with our audience, right? And one of the ways we did that early on too was take more sick days was kind of our first collection that went on for a while.
I got a list of things we're going to go over.
And that was take more sick days was great because it was just like, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. Skip work and go ski. Like, and that literally, like, I can point to a specific day when I think Brett got like 8 inches one morning and the whole crew went out. You know, we called in sick, did this and that, and we just fucking had a blast. And it was like, man, we've really lived these days. Like, okay, snow's good.
We're going.
Sick day, we're going. Like,
yeah, don't regret it.
You know.
Okay. So you guys have mentioned a few of your slogans. I've gone through the website. I got about 7 things, 5 for sure. Basically going to give you one of your slogans and ask you a question, and you just give me an honest answer. Sure. That's it.
Let's ride.
So we'll start with the one we just went. Take more sick days. How much PTO should one actually get?
Man. So a lot of the companies up in Breck especially have an 8-inch powder rule. So if there's 8 inches, the store's fronts are closing and they're going to ride. So I like that.
Really?
Yeah, I like that a lot. The company I work for right now is 8 inches and you can go. So, and I think it's a great company culture thing. Gets people excited for those days. And PTO in general, man, it's gotta be a month, I think.
A month?
Yeah, I mean, you see all these people, especially when I travel. I see all these people from Australia that are taking all these 2-month, 3-month holidays, and they grind super hard during the season, but then they just take off. Well, maybe they don't. I don't.
What's
know.
your take on
Maybe
unlimited PTO then?
Unlimited?
Unlimited PTO. Like they have like open vacation policy. Like you technically could take as much as you want,
right?
But it needs to be approved. What do we think of that?
That's case by case. I feel like. I mean, you got to know the manager, whoever's going to be approving it. It's always approved.
Yeah.
I've always been a 1099 contractor as a sales guy, so I have no idea.
Yeah, you're like, it's always PTO for me.
Eat what you kill.
Yeah, I like the idea of like PTO. As long as you get your work done.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, hey, I guess it depends on the job, but like if it's a project-based thing, that project's done. You don't need to be here.
Right.
Like
yeah.
you did the work we asked you to. Get out of here. I like
sure.
it. All right. Free refills.
Oh, I love this one.
What else should be free?
Free refills.
If you had to pick one thing that was just free, whether it's a food and beverage, what should everyone get free of charge?
Parking, Vail Resorts and A Basin.
Parking.
Blast.
Yeah.
Come on.
Parking is I love that answer.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Come on. You're going to fleece me like that? Like,
Yeah.
Drive all the way up and then what, $20 or something just to park?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's absurd.
Hey, I paid $10 to come to this podcast.
Yeah.
Down the street though.
It is.
It's true.
It's ridiculous to park here. I mean, we have 2 cars here, and we found I have my car parked on like 29th Street in Highlands behind one of my friend's houses because I could park there for free till April or something like that. I'm like, I'm not paying $300 a month next door to use my car maybe once a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I wanted to street park, it would cost me, I think it's like $50 a day.
Is it?
It's disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with living like right downtown. He's like, there's just no escaping that part.
I love it down here because I can walk to everything, which is really it. And as a comic,
So
I can walk to Comedy Works. The Denver Underground isn't too far. Yeah. There's mics and stuff across the street, and everything's like 10 minutes away, which is so much better than Wisconsin. I was driving 20, 25, 30 minutes to go perform.
I think it's one of my least favorite parts about the United States is the walkability factor. Like, of course, in cities, you've got that, but for the most part, like, I don't know, it's not just as much of a cultural thing here.
Yeah, no.
Walkability. You know?
Yeah, well, and it's also because I think we're more rural.
Yeah,
suburban. Like, it's
good farm boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on. Golf is easy. What's your handicap?
I'm actually a 2.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You asked to be a 4th. You will never be a 4th with me then if you're a 2.
I'm your guy.
What is yours?
I don't really have one.
Yeah, you don't really have one.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better this year, though.
I mean, truthfully, we only played.
Best I've ever shot is a 91, I think.
Okay. I'm mid-80s, mid to low 80s when I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
That's great.
You are probably what? Mid to high 70s usually?
Yeah, probably around there. Yeah, it depends. But yeah, man, love golf as well. My brother works for a golf company, and we grew up playing on a really shitty
I was gonna say, how's the golf in Iowa?
It's actually pretty solid. We got some solid tracks there, but I grew up on literally a goat track, just a little 9-hole course, but they had a range, so that helped a ton. And I grew up playing in some like junior tournaments, stuff like that, and then played in high school and had a good career in high school and played a little bit in college, but the booze kind of took over in the party.
It'll do that.
It kind of burns out a little bit on that aspect of my life. But
Jason and his brother have a really great dynamic, and they were, I think, very competitive growing up, like in a fun way, because they're both phenomenal skiers and both phenomenal golfers, and you can tell it was just because they would like compete against one another growing up.
You know, if you would have told me if I just gotten like a background of you, like Iowa farm boy, and I had to pick what you were into, I would not go skiing and golf.
No.
Like football and wrestling maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wrestling
how it
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens. Yeah, the skiing stuff just happened because we had a little, like you said, a landfill like 35 minutes away from our high school, open till 10 p.m.
Yep.
And got obsessed with skiing, man. My buddy was from Switzerland, and his dad taught me how to ski one time. I was snowboarding before I was skiing, and he's like, "You're putting skis on if you're going on this trip." And I was like, "All right, I'll do it." Taught me how to ski. Yeah, never went back. And he was like he was the embodiment of vintage skiing. He was ripping moguls all day. Dude was like 65. Just straight Swiss style of skiing. It was great. But yeah, we would just go there every single night, man. After high school, it was like our high school hangout spot before booze, before smoking weed, before any of that shit. Like it was like we would go there, drive 40 minutes, ski all night till 10 o'clock, then drive home 3 nights a week during the winter, and it was just ice, rails, and jumps. And that's how we had the
same thing. Ours was luckily like 10 minutes down the road for me, but it's just like that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
It was that, and
it was
golf,
no question.
Game big, yeah.
Even East Coast skiers, I find that East Coast skiers are just built different, to put it that way, right? They're just really good skiers especially once they come out here and they're like, oh, I can handle all this, right?
Yeah,
easy.
Anyone that's scared to go down the mountain, do it once. Like the first run, you're gonna feel a little weird. By the second or third, you're like, I got this. This ain't that bad.
Sure. Snowboarding's a different beast, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
The falls are harder.
Yeah. I've been snowboarding more than I've been skiing. And I think snowboarding's definitely shittier to learn. You're just falling on your ass all day. It's like, it's not as natural, right? Skiing, you can kind of just hop on and point the tips.
It looks, I've never
figure it
skied. It looks so much more natural. I'm like, because your legs are separated. I'm like, I feel like that's just how you naturally move. Like when I have my buddies that are like killing it going down like black, and I'm like, yo, my body doesn't turn that quickly on this thing. There's no way.
It's definitely like a more efficient way to get down the mountain or to navigate the mountain. I would put it that way. Like even if like big mountain skiers, right?
Yeah.
They're able to do a lot of different things that snowboarders, can't, I would say. And I got to tread lightly here. Someone's going to call me out, but
that's all right.
For the most part, like the guys that are you don't see as many like intense big mountain snowboarders, right? There's a few out there, but it's just not as efficient. I mean, you've got 2 edges versus 1. It's as simple as that, right? So
no, I agree, and I mean that leads into 4. Skiing is easy, and I was like, "What's your take on snowboarding? Do you hate us?" But you snowboard more than you ski?
These days it's about 50-50, but I'm a better snowboarder than I am a skier.
Are you really?
Yeah.
And now you're a better skier. Are you doing? You're doing a lot of the photography and the filming, right?
Yep, I do all that. Yeah.
So you have to. This is like when I watch people like X Games stuff like that. Obviously, the people doing the massive air tricks, like that's impressive. But the people who are not looking where they're going and just looking at their camera. Does that ever freak you out? Like you're gonna hit something? Have you taken a huge tumble trying to film someone?
Yeah, of course. Definitely have eaten shit multiple times trying to film people. And yeah, honestly, been filming. I mean, I work full time doing video and photo stuff for the last 10 years of my life. So, but on the mountain, it becomes difficult with keeping up with speed for jumps, especially following people off. You have to make sure you're keeping up with their pace, because if they get in your way and you have to skirt a little speed, then you're going to case that next jump. You just kind of have to be ready for it. But yeah, man, I found myself in many of tumbles. I've got broken GoPros and like just sending.
I was gonna say the equipment budget has got to be decent.
I will say though, the 360 camera invention is a game changer for sure. Because those things you can just point and you can do all the editing. And I don't know if you ever mess with them, but you can do all the editing afterwards, and it films everything, so you never miss a shot.
That's nice.
So I picked one of those up last year, and that thing fucks.
Yeah, I mean, quality equipment definitely is going to make your life a little easier.
For sure. But yeah, skiing with the pole, man, just like you don't understand how it throws your weight off a little bit too, and like it can just toss you forward, and yeah. But
dude, let's get you out on some skis.
I want to try it. I want to try it. I always said I would. My buddy's family out here, they're building a house near Winter Park, and I haven't been to Winter Park yet. I was like, you know what? I think when that's done and we go up there, because he boards too. I was like, let's try the skis out. Let's give it a shot. I don't need to be around a million people. I'm gonna pizza my entire way down probably, but part of me thinks I'm not a little cocky. I'm like, I think I could pick it up decently quick.
Did you hockey or ice skate?
No, that's absolutely not. So
I'm terrible at ice skating. So
So okay, that makes me feel better. If I still can do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's learned.
No, you'll pick it up.
But some hockey players I've taken out before, and they're like shredding within 3 runs.
Yeah, so. Some people pick it up so quickly.
One of my favorite things we did. This was last year. We had our buddy Dylan. Shout out Dylan. He's a snowboarder, and we made this whole montage series, so to speak, where he skied his first day and did a backflip. Not just like on a jump that was, solid size jump for your first day. So he did a backflip on skis, and we made a whole little video vlog thing about it. And I think that's one of my favorite.
First time on skis ever.
Yeah.
Not like first time on skis jumping.
Okay, maybe he'd been on once or something before.
I've never seen
but
it.
This was like first time.
I don't care if it was 5.
Really skiing. But he has this thing where he's trying to backflip a bunch of different things, dirt bikes, like whatever, motorcycles.
Yeah, he's got a big ass bucket list.
List of backflips.
Bucket list.
He actually works for Red Bull, but he's not an athlete or anything. But he has a huge bucket list of like crazy things. Like he's done wing walking and a bunch of stuff like that.
The adrenaline junkie, for
sure.
But
backflip everything that he can.
We had come up with this idea like a long time ago. We were like, dude, let's get somebody that's never skied before to do a backflip their first day. We'll just make it a powder day. And then we've realized Dylan has this bucket list, and we're like, dude, this is fucking perfect. Yeah. And he doesn't even do it on a powder day. He goes to the park like on a serious jump. Yeah. Like it fucking.
Well, if the guy's doing the wingsuit stuff or whatever, you probably could have convinced him to do anything.
Yeah, it's true.
A couple more runs, be like, why don't we make it a double?
Yeah. Honestly, he would. I think he would. I think he would.
It's so funny.
He's actually about to be my roommate.
It was hilarious because it was like we're trying to prove scientifically that skiing is easy out in the field, and we did it.
Yeah,
backed by science.
I like that.
It's just fun, man.
Everyone needs a friend like that. It's just like, fuck it.
Sure.
The guy that should be getting hurt never does. It's always the kid that's probably the most cautious.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's just like you just tense up when you get cautious.
There are some savages out there. I mean, when you meet these guys, like, that are just at the top of these sports, whether it's like skiing, snowboarding, surfing, it's like, holy shit, that is a different level.
It's a different level, and I think the level is stuff in your brain turning off. Like you're just like, who gives a shit where I am? They
don't
don't think. They just
think.
do it. I'm like,
go.
there is no fear. Like, oh, I could drown on this wave. I could hit a tree. Like, no, I'm there. In their head, I'm like, I'm just gonna make it to the bottom.
Well, and it's crazy too because like from my experience with whether it be skiing, snowboarding, or surfing, it's like when you get fucked up, when you fall, it's because you start to get a little bit afraid and you try and stop.
Yeah.
Right, especially with skiing or snowboarding, you're like, oh wait, I'm out of control, and you try to whatever, and then that's when you
It's like they say with
those
like
guys just go.
It's like they say with like a car accident. You shouldn't if you see someone coming, you shouldn't actually stop. You should just turn.
Or they say
Like,
they
just
say
move.
that with like a moose or something. You're not supposed
like
to stop.
don't stop. Just
go.
keep going. Just keep going. We'll keep going here then.
Keep going.
Aspen 96.
Yes.
Favorite mountain. What is it?
Ooh.
And your least favorite mountain.
Least favorite mountain. This is good. Okay, least favorite mountain. I'll start with.
Are you afraid to burn any bridges right now?
He's
Because if that's the case, don't give me your least favorite mountain.
No,
just give me your favorite.
I'm gonna start with. I think my favorite mountain has got to be. It's got to be Whistler. I want to say a Colorado mountain. I want to say Aspen Highlands or Crested Butte or even Silverton. But man, we did a Whistler trip and it was. This was during COVID.
We're thinking about doing that next
horrible.
January.
It was horrible conditions, like fucking ice rink, and just like. But we were there, and it's just the Mecca. Whistler is insane.
Yeah.
Before we went out to that trip, we did it with a big group, and I was kind of like, guys, what are we doing? We live in Breckenridge. Why are we going to Whistler? But I was like, all right, well, we'll go. And then I got there, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
You gotta try something.
Whistler is like just the Mecca.
Yeah. The difference is they have such a big elevation gain. Like their mountains might only go to 7,000 feet, and ours go to 13. Yeah. But they start at 2,000 feet. In Breck we start at 10. We go to 13, so we have 3,000 foot elevation gain. But they start at 1,000 feet, almost sea level, and then you go up to 7,000 feet. So you have like your legs when you get down from a run at Whistler. Yeah. It feels
You're
like
shot.
Just shaking like a leaf.
Yeah, you could be skiing for like 30-40 minutes, and like we're not skiing slow either.
Yeah,
no,
it's like an actual problem skiing those runs.
Like, damn, this thing's
like, hey, we're taking a break halfway through. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a reason why the opera scene is so big there is because everyone's taking half of a day.
But yeah, man. I mean, if you get it in good conditions, I think it would be.
Yeah, we want to go.
Yeah.
I guess. All right, follow up. When you give me your favorite mountain, where's your best opera? Because you said it's great at Whistler, but I'm going to challenge you. Don't give me Whistler.
Yeah.
Best opera in Colorado. Let's do that.
Right. I got to go with A-Basin. It's
A-Basin?
the beach at A-Basin. If you're picking just a resort, yeah. But if you're picking an event, I think like the Highlands closing party is super it's you got to put it up there.
Cloud9.
Vail, right?
Cloud9 is where again? Aspen. Yeah, we did that. Yep. We got kicked out because we weren't buying anything.
Yeah,
it was our last day, and they're like,
Sorry,
"Are you only buying $7? You buying $7 beers?" They're like, yeah. Well, this is reserved. Get out.
Dude,
I'm like, okay.
It's a different level.
And then like $300 seafood tower at the top of the mountain comes out. I'm like, I don't even know how they got here.
They're not even skiers. They're just like,
I'm like, you have normal boots on. I don't know why you're here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've seen an increase of that. I feel like in the past few years where you see people just like hanging out around the mountain with like these big fur suits on and this and that, and it's like
just there for that, which you can't.
They're just there to hang out. It's cool,
Dude, opera is trending right now too. I mean, you see these parties at Mammoth, which are like going viral. With DJ Wildcat at I can't remember what the lodge name is, but they're just crazy, man. Like crazy big. And yeah, because of they've blown up on TikTok and shit. Like now people are just coming in, not even riding.
Totally.
They're just coming in there to just
it's
party,
just a party,
which is fun. But like then nobody can get in to the party, or it's too packed, and it's like
I've seen a lot more bachelor and bachelorette trips going to mountains and resorts, stuff like that for their like. Let's just part instead of like Vegas feels like it's dying almost. We're going to like let's be a little active and then drink outside, which is the best way to drink is outside.
Right.
Can we do we agree with that? Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, I can't think of a better bachelor party. Just go skiing with the boys, right?
Yeah, it is such a good like when you actually as we get older, it's harder to get people together. It's so hard. People are actually getting married, having kids, and you're like, all right, chill out. But when you get like, because our trips, we're anywhere from 12 to 20 people every year. I'm like, this is like the trip. It's incredible. Yeah. Everyone together, like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, it works out great. It's just like, yeah, you got to spend $2,500.
Yeah, you're
like
spending
a weekend.
Yeah.
Now back to aprés real quick though.
Yeah, give me the best aprés in town.
I have heard we haven't branched out that far, to be honest. I've heard Europe is just a different level. Austria,
yeah.
I think Europe
I'm not
parties.
saying that right.
St. Anton, yeah, definitely.
Europe parties differently too, though. So they gotta have a lot of fun. Though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you skied in Europe yet?
Nope.
No.
We did go to Argentina though and skied in Bariloche.
Yeah, Patagonia.
That was fucking great.
That last year.
Much fun.
Or was it 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
How was Japan? You really didn't. You just told me about the socks you got at the gas station.
Yes.
Because we like
Socks were a highlight, man.
Our group has talked about going to Japan for a while now.
Yeah.
And
Tell them it sucks.
Yeah.
too many people going.
Yeah.
No, dude. I mean,
I heard it's
Japan
relatively
sucks. Don't go.
like not cheap but affordable too.
right. Yeah, like I said, the yen is like super, like low compared to the USD right now. So it is the cheapest to go right now. But oh, man, we got so lucky. We had like 4 feet in the weekend that we got there. Over 48 hours, it like broke the like 20-year record or something like that. So definitely had a lot of luck throughout the whole trip. But I mean, like we talked about earlier, the transportation system is so flawless. Like getting places, we never rented a car or anything like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Renting skis was super easy. All the Aussies run all the shops, so it's easy to just speak English with them, get skis. And all the resorts are, on the same passes as we are in Colorado. So,
Are they really?
Yeah, so our passes work
So they're all
over there
Icon,
easily.
Epic, stuff like
Yep,
that?
just go and scan your pass. Don't have to pay for a pass over there. And the powder's it's just floaty coming off the ocean, super thin, super light, and you can just slash through. The trees are super wide, so you can just plow. And yeah, obviously got a lot of good things to say about it. The whole country, I mean, I've been obsessed with Japanese culture for a long time, but yeah, it was an incredible trip and met a lot of cool people out there. Everyone's super helpful. And yeah, just love the cities out there. And yeah, being cheap is great too, because you can just ball out on food and booze and stuff like that and not feeling like the regret in the morning. It's like, oh yeah, you only have the hangover of the actual alcohol, not the financial
Not the
burden that you
financial
caused.
hangover, which
Yeah.
is terrible.
Which is terrible.
That
Yeah.
is the worst. You're like, hey, maybe we're not spending money at all today.
Yeah. So, but yeah, highly recommend it. I mean, quick flight over, do what you got to do to get over there, because it's sick.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna send that to my friends. All right, we got 2 more. I guess one more. Outside of you guys, what are your favorite ski brands? Who's doing it the best right now?
Great question.
You know what I'm gonna say?
He's gonna say gibberish.
Okay,
They crush it.
I've
They
heard of
crush
them.
it.
Yeah.
They have. Well, Jace, you've been following them since you were
Yeah,
like 12. So
yeah. I mean, Gibberish is my favorite brand. A lot of inspiration came from them forever. They were originally like a park skiing brand, like super for the culture. They've delved more into streetwear nowadays, but they always had a very keen eye for the best, like most stylish skiers. Maybe not the X Games podiums or like the U.S. freestyle team podiums or anything like that, but yeah, man, they have a great taste in style. They've been doing it since I don't know, 2006. They used to have a couple pop-up stores here in Denver, but yeah, they're great. And yeah, a lot of our inspiration comes from my initial inspiration from them in like the 2010s when I was like, these guys are, the people that are supporting skiing from like the ground up,
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. We kind of look at. We don't look so much at the ski manufacturers as much for inspiration, right? But kind of like the clothing and soft goods, we call it, surrounding. But Gibberish is crushing it, like the way they've kind of attached streetwear to skiing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really cool. Armada, though, I think they do a really good job. Obviously a manufacturer, but they do some really cool stuff and just have a good culture. J Skis, I think, has a great culture. 1,000 Skis. Capiche, who else?
Yeah, nailing all the core brands for sure.
Would you guys want to see your stuff? Like, is it like what is? I guess I don't even know how to ask this because you don't want to be the resort, the gift shop people. You want to stand out. I guess. Is there a pinnacle? Is there a goal?
Yeah.
Is there I guess there's next steps. Obviously,
sure.
you're always going to want to continue to grow. Do you want to see your stuff worn at the X Games? The guys doing the half pipe. Do you want to see
well, we don't do outerwear, and we don't make skis, so it's not so much about like the Olympic athlete rocking our stuff. It's not going to be like Oakley or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I think one way to look at it is like, think about skateboarding, right? They have all of these like really cool brands attached to it that are kind of known for, I don't know, these soft goods that you wear around, especially back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Right. Or like surfing, especially, same thing, even though Quicksilver, I think, just went under. But
we don't have to talk about that.
I think our plan is just to make a really fucking cool brand for skiers.
Okay.
Right, for people that love to ski. And the soft goods, I don't know if we'll ever really get into jackets and bibs and pants. We might, but for now, it's like we're just making soft goods for people that love to ski. Yeah.
Do you guys have, like, if you had a dream collab or like in the next year, if you'd be like, hey, this is pretty fucking cool, this just happened, is there anything?
We've got a couple things cooking. I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
you don't have to ruin
don't have
it.
much
Yeah.
time yet.
But we very much.
There's a couple dreams.
We see partnerships as a really easy way for us to just like get introduced to new audiences, right? From a business perspective. So it's something we're trying to get cooking, and like we have brands in mind that we're like currently talking to, trying to get it done. So
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, trying to work with it.
That's the end of this questions. I don't like preparing things. I like that kills me.
Yeah.
My other co-host who I usually do this with, he has like a game every week. And I started this and I'm like, I should be the one prepared, and it drives me up a wall that I could just sit here and talk with you guys for hours. Like that's just what this is meant to be. I don't even know how long
it's been.
I don't either. It's probably been, if I'm guessing, close to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I've got.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of do. Like we've talked about. Obviously, we're entrepreneurs or whatever. We've got this business that we're starting, but you kind of, it's the same kind of arena, starting a podcast, and it's something that a lot of people are doing. So I just kind of want to hear, I don't know what, a little bit about your journey and the thoughts going into it. Like, how long have you been running?
So this is been 3 years in the making, kind of. I struggled out of college being like, what do I want to do? I think a lot of us have.
Yeah.
And I think I struggled more just admitting to myself I wanted to do a lot of performance stuff comedy-wise. And so I was applying for jobs like in LA or being like a talent agent. I was offered a job in the mailroom at a talent agency out of college. And I was like, I can't afford to move to LA at $10 an hour to work in a mailroom. Like, I just can't. And I finally just like admitted to myself, like, I kind of want to do this performance stuff. I used to watch talk shows all the time. Like, this seems like everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
And so I did this podcast thing as a way to push myself into stand-up, which is ass backwards in my head. I'm like, if I can release it to the world, like the internet, me talking nonsense, dick jokes, whatever, I can go talk to 4 people at a bar. Sure. My like jokes ever, and usually you start like, let's start small and then let's go big. I was like, everyone can see this, and then I'll go do it in private.
Yeah.
And so it started as me and one other buddy, audio only, different name, and then he got a girlfriend, and he just quit. I was like, well,
dude.
I have this problem with just like stopping stuff, so I renamed it, made it just me, invited my friends on every week, just hung out. And I told myself at the end of the day, if nothing comes of this, and more has come of it than I ever thought would, if nothing comes of this, I have hours of recorded footage of me and my friends hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, which is so cool. Like, one day I'll be able to show my kids and be like, hey, this is Uncle Connor, Uncle Chad, whatever. Like, we're hanging out, and just like, this is what we were like when we were 25. Because like our parents now, they have pictures and stuff like that, or a few home videos. And now I can embarrass my kids. Like, yeah, we were talking about stupid shit when we were 25.
I think that's how you have to look at things when you're in the arena, whatever. Taking risks is you have to break it down and say, okay, even if I lose here, right, I'm still gonna get this out of it, right? I'm still gonna learn this, or I'm still gonna have these memories
It's
out of it.
it's a good way to look at it because it gives you some sort of sanity when things don't work out.
Totally.
Because on the flip side of things, and this is where like some people drive me insane in this like media, comedy, whatever world, is you wouldn't put anything online if you didn't think it was gonna go well. Like every time you post, I'm like, oh, this is our video. This is it. Yeah. You're not like, we're just doing that, whatever. No, you can't be like, I just put it out there because I just wanted to put it out. No, you thought it was gonna do well.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
So like you have to, like that's like I guess what I tell myself is like, all right, I have all this footage I can look back at, which is I truly do believe that. But then it turned into, I got less consistent with it. I got bored. I ran out of friends to do it with, honestly. And I was like, I'm sick of doing it with the same people that can't do anything with me. Like I was interviewing teachers.
Right.
And then I would do an hour video. I'd edit it for 3 hours when I didn't know what I was doing. And then the day it releases, I'd get a text being like, hey, can you actually not release that?
Hey, take
like,
that down.
Yeah, take it down. Like I could get in trouble. I go, why did you agree to do this?
Right.
Yeah.
I also told you right away.
After
like,
just hours of
I was like, I would kill you if I could.
Yeah.
And so I found 2 other comics, and we did it together for about a year. That's when we started getting sponsorships. I moved, so we're through like a rebranding again now. But it's become kind of like a brand, especially in Wisconsin, where like it's synonymous with, I guess, like obviously me, and we're doing events now. We've done live shows since. We have the golf outing that we talked about, which if I ever bring it here, I have like fun ideas I could do with you guys that I will definitely pitch to you, which 100%. Would be so fun. Like having like every hole, it's a comedic golf outing. Every hole is themed with something. Like the first hole each tournament is 4 of my favorite comedians in Wisconsin just berating the shit out of everyone. It's like, and you've seen it online, but it's like
they
just heckle the shit out of them for
Shit's so good.
It's so fun
and stuff.
Yeah, we did the first one on 2 months' notice, and planning something like that on 2 months' notice is ridiculous. Like we got to the golf course, like, hey, this turned out like decently well. How long did you take to plan this? I was like 2 months. He goes, there are corporations that do this in like 10. And so I was like, all right, and it's we sold it out finally last year. It'll sell it again this year. We're finally releasing it next week. But bringing it here, there's a bunch of new people. I met you at the bar, and this is like how I want this to go. Is I just talk to people I enjoy. Yeah, have fun. It could either be serious, it could be funny, connections, and then through that, I've built so many different like relationships and stuff like that is incredible.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I feel like we feel the same.
Man, it's wild, isn't it?
It's I love that. Like I love meeting new people. Yeah. Yes and no. Like I'll get annoyed with people pretty quickly for sure. But like if you're doing something fun, like I want to know about it. It's cool. Like I'm definitely gonna pick your guys' brains after this about how you do all the clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Pretty open book. Yeah. No, I'm just very curious about it too, because my dad, when he's probably like 41.
Your dad is 41 right now?
No. When he was 41.
Okay.
He started. He
I was doing the math, and I was like, shit.
Dude was piping when he was 11.
Yeah.
No. But when he was 41.
Shout out Mike.
Yeah, shout out Mike. He was picking up comedy as well and doing a lot of the local shows and stuff like that. Yeah. And he ended up winning a local contest. Got it open for I can't remember his name, but a semi-famous comedian. Yeah. And then ended up doing America's Got Talent. He got censored on the show, and like things didn't go over well. But I grew up with him being like very into comedy and stuff like that. So I'm always curious about people's paths,
like getting into it. It's an interesting world. Like, is every comedy's cliquey? I think everything's cliquey. But comedy for sure. Like I went from a Wisconsin scene that I was pretty well immersed in. By no means was I at the top of the Milwaukee scene. But now I'm coming here. I'm like, I got to start over.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, I knew the producers coming here. It's a definitely who you know business for sure. Obviously, your jokes need to speak for themselves. But I've had the opportunity to open for cool people, and I go back to like, I wouldn't have got on stage if I didn't think I could actually perform or headline or do anything like that. But also in the back of your head, you're like, let's be realistic. this could go literally nowhere.
Yeah.
And I've done comedy clubs. I've done a theater. I've opened for nationally touring comedians. I've opened for rising comedians. One that's come out of here who's killing it right now. It's so fun. It is such a fun world. I'm sure your dad absolutely loved it. I mean, your job is literally to make people laugh. And if you do your job right, everyone in that room is happy. And I don't know anyone who is upset in a room full of happy people.
Yep.
It's such a crazy, I mean, I think most people's greatest fear is like public speaking, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're
It was
taking
one
that
of
to
mine.
extreme
Yeah.
Because it's beyond just public speaking. It's like you got to get laughs out of them.
Yeah.
So like when you're on stage, is it something where you kind of have your jokes memorized, or are you very like dynamic and being like feeling out the crowd?
Both.
It's both.
There's so many different styles of comics, and like I'll invite you guys to a show next time I have one. Again, getting into the scene, but everyone has different styles. There's a lot of people who are set up punch, set up punch, set up punch, just boom, 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 boom. It's like a bunch of popsicle sticks going. And then there are people more like me where like I like telling stories. It's more personal anecdotes and like what's going on in my life. I self-deprecating, or you make fun of yourself or the people around you. And then there are people who do a lot of crowd work. So off the cuff, I like a mixture of the crowd work and the stories, because I think the most true form of comedy, in my opinion, is the stuff that happens immediately. I think jokes are wonderful, and that ruins it. You could go on like crowd work's ruining comedy. It kind of is, because every time you go to a show, everyone thinks it's their show too. So you'll go perform and you'll have people just screaming out at you. I go, this isn't. No one paid to hear you talk.
Yeah.
So
I've been to shows like that. For
yeah,
sure.
and it's miserable. And you have some comics who handle it very well, and some comics who are like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And they don't handle it well. And there's different levels of it. People are really good at dealing with hecklers. People aren't. And then there are people who try and do crowd work and they shouldn't. Yeah, and they're like, what do you do for work? And you're like, I'm an astronaut. And they just go, cool. And then they move on.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a joke in there.
yeah, you can find something. Like, do something.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because like comedy, I think it's just like live music, right? Where live comedy, it's just so much better.
Oh.
Like it's just like
it's so much better and in a group. Like, I challenge anyone to watch Step Brothers by yourself. Watch Step Brothers with 15 of your best guy friends.
Yeah.
I guarantee you laugh 10 times more with your friends than you do by yourself. Because the minute someone else laughs, it gives your brain permission. Oh, I can laugh. I can let it go. It's kind of it's less embarrassing. And that's why like live comedy is best. You're like, if you're in a dark room full of people, no one sees you, whatever, laugh your ass off. You're having a good time.
Dude, and nothing's better than seeing some guy or girl that's, letting themselves loose and just like laughing till they're crying. Like, it's just fucking.
Oh, those are the best people.
It's the best.
When they're like belly laughing, or they're like, this hurts.
Yeah.
It is such a good feeling.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
you also have nights where you're like, yeah, I'd run my car off a bridge. This was brutal.
Yeah.
The amount of time it'll happen to me either tonight or next week or whatever. You'll go up, you'll do a joke that crushed. I mean, absolutely murdered the night before. And then
Crickets.
Bomb your dick off the next day. Crickets.
You think it's all crowd, or maybe you just weren't, it was a bad day?
It could be both, because comedy's so subjective. It's like what you find funny, you might not find funny.
Totally. And maybe in one city it's not as funny.
City, demographic, political views, everything. Oh my God, Trump jokes
in Portland.
Yeah,
See what happens.
Well, you make fun of Trump in Portland, it's gonna go well. You make fun of Trump in northern Wisconsin, not as well.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's so good comics realize their audiences, and they change their jokes up. They're like, hey, I have 20 minutes of material. I'm only getting paid for 10. I don't need to do the 10. That's not going to work here. Do another, like, interchange it. And then, so it's fun. It's definitely an art form.
Totally.
100%.
It allows yourself to be creative, which I think all three of us like being creative. You guys designing your stuff. Like, this is like the stuff you guys want to wear every day. Yeah. The jokes I think that are funniest, I get to tell every day. It's a good feeling.
That's just the ultimate test. Is like, do I find this funny? Would I wear this? Like, that's
exactly
at the end of the day what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But for you, when you have a bad day, your bad day is in front of
it's in front of a lot of people. Yeah.
For Jason and I, it's just behind a computer screen.
Someone be like, "Hey man, this shirt sucks." And you're like, "Well, kick rocks."
We'll move on.
Yeah, but I think it builds character. And I think with anything, if you can push that aside, it's like it's one person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get like 2 weeks in a row where you haven't gotten anyone to laugh, we can revisit whether or not you should be on stage. But
right.
like if you guys weren't selling shirts and clothing and hats and whatever for 2 months straight, you'd be like, should we be doing this anymore?
Man, it's well, and with skiing is easy. It's so seasonal.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll have not that we won't have sales for a whole month or something like that, but we're actually this has been a bad month. Last month was fucking great. This month,
I didn't even think about that.
We run out of inventory because we had a good month last month, and now we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs, just waiting for the inventory to come back, and it's like, fuck.
I guess like because of that seasonal, and I started seeing the golf stuff on there. If you guys like, the name is Skiing is Easy, so I guess people will be like, all right, it's all skiing stuff.
Right.
But have you thought about doing more of the golf stuff and like being able to like dive into different seasonal markets?
We've done more than thinking about that.
Yeah, we got some stuff in the works.
Yeah, we
did worn the hat.
Yeah, we did polos. We just we got our new samples for our hats.
We got a really cool.
The golf stuff is the one thing I would think about doing. Like I love the golf stuff. There's a lot of golf brands that I love. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like such a competitive market. I mean, even more than like skiing and
it's
stuff.
Saturated
like,
as hell.
I mean, you see a new brand every single day.
The same type of just like brand we're building for skiing. You have, I don't know, maybe hundreds
tenfold
of them
in golf.
For golf.
And I think the issue is with golf, everybody's trying that same angle of like, yo, it's not that serious. Like, let's booze. Like, let's hang out.
Oh yeah,
get a transfusion.
It's fun.
Which I love. I mean, that's what I grew up on.
Yeah, you just got to find the one that like fits you.
There's no
so
niche to really get into.
No,
but I think too, it's a market that is really like the margins are really great because you've got a golf polo. The cost to produce that polo is probably $10-15, right?
Yeah,
and they're selling it for $80-90.
It's absurd.
It's insane.
It is absurd.
That's the same cost for us to produce one of our heavyweight shirts, but we're gonna be selling it for $38-40.
Yeah, a little more reasonable. Golf is expensive. I mean, skiing is expensive too. The barrier to entry, a lot of these things is heavy.
Yes,
and I think, I mean, I have multiple thoughts, but like it's heavy. But if you can, that's why I like looking at your size. Like, I wouldn't break my bank buying 2-3 things on the side here. But you go to a pro shop or whatever, even the pro shops now are selling like the streetwear stuff for golf. It's like I'm spending $500 on whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You're getting the hat, the shorts, the pants, the polo, like kitted out with the polos. Golfers spend a lot of money.
They spend a lot of money, and with golf is definitely more expensive than skiing. Like you guys, we could buy an Icon or an Epic Pass for a couple $100, and you can go all year to very specific mountains.
Man,
you're not
so sick if you could buy an Epic Pass for golf.
But
yeah, and then you get like 5-6 courses. Like what you can do for golf is,
legendary.
hey, give me $10,000 for the year, and you can play this course.
Right.
That's it.
The outerwear for skiing though, it's expensive. I mean, you can make it as expensive as you want. Just like for golf, you go to TJ Maxx and buy cheap ass polos, right? Which I've done.
Oh, I absolutely. Best place to actually get golf polos, and you want them cheap? Costco.
Dude, fucking.
I'm serious. I've gone to Costco in the summer 2 or 3 times, and they have just $15 Callaway polos.
They make golf clubs too.
Yeah, and they're actually
ones.
good stuff. Yeah, it's like equivalent to Titleist, I think they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things come from the same factories for sure.
Yeah,
that is the one thing I've looked into a lot when looking into doing clothing and whatnot. And you see like so many when you do that research, and then your algorithm becomes like, this is why you shouldn't buy Lulu. And it's like, just go to who makes Lulu,
totally,
and it's significantly cheaper. Who cares?
Yep.
You're paying for that logo is all you're doing.
Right.
Exactly. After like really being in this business for a few years now, you just see that like, oh, it's all branding.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
what you
all
connect
it is,
with.
yeah.
And you want people, especially with the more expensive stuff, you want people to see that you have that brand.
Yeah.
Well, people that really care about
especially
it. Especially
those bigger brands that really have the economy of scales in place, like Lululemon polo. It's probably $5 to make that.
It's disgusting. And then you go, I remember, like, these are Lulu pants, and I only have these because I had a gift card to Lulu.
Yeah.
And when I was a personal trainer back in Wisconsin, you get a discount for being in the athletics world. Sure. I was like, all right, so I have a $50 gift card. I have a discount for being in the fitness industry, and these pants are still $65.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Wow. Still bought them.
Still bought them. I was like,
That's
yeah,
good branding.
they're going to
Good
last.
branding.
Yeah. But I was like, all right, what am I also? I'm not buying a hat. I'm not buying a fanny pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to the manufacturer.
In branding, I think where branding is going to, it's because every company's trying to compete to like kind of carve out their market and resonate with their customers the most, and it's going to become a point where it's like this entertainment and the branding is going to have to meet in the middle. You're going to have like one of my favorite brands actually is called Sickos, right? They have a YouTube channel. It's a bunch of kids. They travel the world. They ski. They surf. This and that, and they sell merch. But it's like they're taking a step forward. They're not just a brand. It's like it's entertainment. It's a community, and that's the future of a lot of these brands. And that's kind of what we're trying to, I think, do with Skiing is Easy at one point too. Is like bridge entertainment and branding, bring it all into one. That's
kind of what we're doing here. It's like, all right, start getting. You can only do so much with, at least for me. Guys are different, but I'm like, I can only do so much giving you guys 1 or 2 T-shirts, like the golf outing, everyone gets a T-shirt kind of thing. But I want people to be like, oh, no, this is the Fat Chance outing. Like, we're doing that every year. That's in, like, because it's an event is definitely going to stick in your brain. Everyone's looking forward to the concert, looking forward to their outing, looking forward to whatever. The entertainment thing is huge, and that's like just in general. I mean, you're 100% right. The branding is going to mix with entertainment. I mean, that's like what Red Bull did. Like they had their cans and then the clothing. Now they have athletes. They have it's insane.
Totally. Even just for a lot of advertising and a lot of angles now, it's about showing the founder's story.
Yeah.
Or the behind the scenes of the brand. Even something like a warehouse, an ad that could be, the founder in the warehouse just trying on stuff. Like those are really popular angles to run these days, and it's because the audience wants to know that there's people like me behind this brand. Mm-hmm. Right.
People also love to see that because everyone has a dream. Like they want to do something. They're like, oh, he did it. Yeah. It's nice to see that, like, even though that in the back here, like they're never going to do it, but like, oh, someone else did it. It's kind of nice. They're attached to it. They feel like they're a part of it, especially if you get them from the ground up. Like, oh, I'm part of it. It's a community.
Totally.
It's like not just a brand. It's a full-on community.
I mean, man, at the end of the day, whether it's entrepreneurship or starting a podcast, being a comedian, you have to believe that it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Why
found
not?
that exactly, dude.
Soapbox, go.
Yeah. Why, like my stretches where it's been the hardest to get started in the morning, get the work done, do this and that. It's because like in the back of my head, for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, like maybe it's not in the cards.
Yeah.
This and that. And
that happens all the time. Yeah.
I have to push myself to be like, no, fuck that. Like you can do this. It is possible. And like when you believe in your bones that it's possible, like that's all you need. That's the gas in the tank.
Oh, that, and I think you need one other person who's willing to do it with you. Mm-hmm. Like, totally. Again, the community thing, which I never asked. How did you two meet?
We met kind of through honestly.
Shout out Colton.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even really Colton. I feel like it was Serge.
Serge.
I grew up with a kid, and he was studying abroad one year. What was that, Italy?
Yeah, I studied abroad in Italy with my buddy Colton, really good friend, and he went to Iowa. And so it was just mutual friends, right? And, but what really kicked it off was I moved to Breckenridge to live up there, and Jace was already up there, and that's when it was like a bunch of ski bums living together in the same town, and skiing is easy became just like a catchphrase, and then
we just ended up riding together, honestly. But yeah, our friend Sergio introduced us, I think, at some point at some ski bum party. It's
been cool though, because I mean, me and Jace, we were close before Skiing is Easy, but since we've started Skiing is Easy, it's been like, I mean, I don't know if there's been a day,
not many,
in the past couple of years that I haven't like talked to Jace. There's been been a couple, but like just checking in, and it's a really cool. I don't know. You hear horror stories about starting business with your friends or family, but I take the opposite side. I think it can also work out really well. I think it can be really fun. It's like what it comes down to is whether or not the business is doing well. are successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not that we're, fucking the Waltons or anything, but like,
no, but you guys have success.
We're scrappy and we're getting it done. So.
When I told my buddies that you guys were doing this, they're like, are you fucking serious? When did you meet them? They're like, a few of them are like, we love that brand. I was like,
oh yeah,
dude, that's
sick.
I remember even at the bar.
Yeah.
I talked to you guys about the brand. You guys were like, oh yeah, I haven't really heard of it. Yeah. And then I came back through, walking back out the bar, and your friend's like, oh dude, like you run SKIING, I've been watching. And honestly, man, it's just always crazy every time because for me, it's got to
feel good.
Pressing like some buttons on a camera or something and uploading stuff sometimes, design. I never see the brand from another person's perspective. And so I always see it from the way that I'm running things, and it might have, however we're doing that month, I might have a different perspective on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's crazy to see people come at us and be like,
"No, we love it.
So sick!
Well,
we love what you're doing."
Compare it to your projects too. I bet there was a point where you kind of started up and it was like, "Oh yeah, he's doing a podcast."
Oh
That's
yeah,
nice.
I still hate it. Like it's a little different. Like it was like a clothing. Like, do we love the clothing? We have one shirt that my girlfriend actually made. And every time she wears it out, 5 or 6 girls like, we need that. I'm like, I need to sell this. Mm-hmm. Like I need to sell it. That feels good. But like you'll get people.
Maybe we can license.
Yeah, then we get people that are like, so how's the podcast going? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Dude,
shut up.
It's those
I hate
ones
that.
Where in the early days, and even friends, and they didn't know any better maybe, but they would be like, oh, like I thought you were just like, oh, isn't that you're actually trying to make a business out of this? Like, yeah, dude, I'm not fucking around.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm doing here? Like,
you're still doing that little thing?
Oh,
yeah.
Or it's like we ran an ad on Thanksgiving. I think it's our best performing ad of all time. It's this meme. It's this Thanksgiving meme where it's like all of the families looking up and they're like, oh, there's our little businessman. How's the T-shirt thing going? And that's like every Thanksgiving, which is fine. But you go from being like almost like not taken seriously at all to all of a sudden like
they're asking for your advice.
The same family, like they've got people in their office that like know the brand and rock it and wear it. Like that's literally happened. And I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Like,
it's cool. I mean, kudos to you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. Then there is that time though when like me and you, especially like after a heavy talk day, and then I'll go to the bar and be like trying to blow off some steam, and then I meet up with my buddies and we're all drinking, and then everybody has an idea. Once the brand starts catching a little bit of everybody's got an idea. And so then you ended up in a 2-hour business conversation when you just got out of like work or whatever.
Dude, what do you think Jason and I
great.
do all day is like we come up with ideas. Thanks for, you guys should do like an après ski t-shirt. It's like, what do you think?
That's like for me, like everyone's got a joke. The amount like
really? People pitch you jokes?
Dude, ask any comedian. Their parents, my dad would do this all the time. Like, this is something you could talk about on stage. You go, no, it's not. Like, absolutely not. Like, it's so many.
You gotta love it though. At the same time, it's like we're talking. It's annoying this and that, but it's like it's great.
My favorite one I ever got. What was it? It was this January. My buddy, who actually just came to visit, he's like, hey, I have an idea for you. And this is like a joke. He's like, we should do a T-shirt swap for the airport. Have you guys ever done one of these?
Like where you kind of buy it. Like
you buy a funny shirt, and your friend's got to wear it. And he buys one for you.
Yeah, I got
you. And so I'm like, don't play this game with comedian. Like this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's do it. And I kind of forgot about it. And it's the day before I fly out to go to Banff. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta like make this and have it printed out today.
Yeah.
Like custom made. This is gonna cost me way too much money for a shirt. But I'm like, I'm not buying one off Amazon. So I make a shirt, and then I text my buddy, I go, hey, how bad are we going with this? He goes, you could probably wear this to like a middle school and you wouldn't get in trouble. I go, you could wear this to college and your professor might like kick you out. I'm like, this isn't good. So I make a shirt that says Anal Bead Tug of War Champion 2024 XL Division, white long sleeve shirt. And he gets me a shirt that says I'm swamped today, and it's Shrek. I'm like, this is a joke.
Oh my God.
But I make this shirt.
So that's why you don't do this with comedians.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, step it up. He's like, I thought about one that just said bomb. I go, I don't want to be on a list, Jake. And so I make this shirt. I'm like, I got to print it out. So I call this company while I'm at work. And I'm like, hey, can you print it out? And I'm like, he's just emailing me back and forth. And he's like, just give me your personal number. I'm like, who am I dealing with? And so I drive in the middle of my workday to go pick up this shirt. I open up the door. This guy's office is, if the door's here, his desk is right here. And it's a kid I went to high school with.
No.
And I've been emailing him back and forth anal bead tug of war championship shirts. I'm like, I need this. And I'm like, it's for a bachelor party. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, this is so funny. I've been watching your stuff lately. I thought about DMing you a bunch of stuff. My kids say the darndest things. I have like 2 or 3 pages worth of stories about my kids that you haven't seen that you should go tell on stage. I go, do you think that's going to work, dude? And he's like, well, just hear me out. I'll DM you in a couple weeks about it. I go, please don't.
It's just
like,
dude with a dream,
like
man.
I appreciate it because
Yeah.
it's all well intended.
Totally.
But I'm like, it is like if you told me a story, if I told you a story, I'm like, hey, go tell it on stage. You'd be like, you don't care about it. You don't like. Very few stories do you hear from someone else can you then portray to someone else and it'd be just as funny. Very, very few.
Man, storytelling though is such a like, I don't know. It's some people you have it or you don't. It's such a skill, right?
You can learn to do it. I think the big one is like trimming the fat.
Yeah.
A lot of people are way too wordy. You've all met someone who're like, dude, just fucking get on with it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it was sunny or cloudy Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. They're trying to build the
Like,
world.
Yeah, it's like just get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Good
it's
shit.
it's man. Yeah, it's a good one.
Well, we can wrap this up because this is going to be over an hour, which is totally fine. Thank you guys for coming. Do you have anything else? How about this? Plug your stuff that's coming out. This is going to come out next Thursday.
Okay.
So your line's going to come out, I guess, tomorrow, which would have been last Friday.
Why not? And then we got a bunch of stuff coming.
What else?
out.
Everything you have going on.
More
Look right into your
stuff.
camera.
What's
I'll
going on,
clip it up.
guys?
Yep.
Why Not collection. It's already going to be out by the time you see this. So give it a shot. It's pretty sick. We're both a big fan of it. Otherwise, we're going to be in Tahoe next week. Pop-up shop, 3 days. It's going to be incredible. We're riding for the U.S. Mogul Freestyle team. So check us out.
We're not riding personally.
Well, you're right. Riding is the wrong word. We're going to be there supporting them.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got invited to Tahoe, and it's fucking sweet, dude. We were sidebar. We were trying to reach out to them for like months because we're trying to do this big spring skiing event. Crickets.
Yeah.
And one day, all of a sudden, they just reach out to us. Apparently, this director, Christina, awesome lady, her daughter, huge fan of the brand, is like, hey, you should hit up Skiing is Easy, and they reach out to us, invite us to this event. It's fucking like so cool. One of the best.
Dude, have you been to Tahoe before?
Nope.
I
15-hour
want to
road
go
trip.
so bad.
Bro,
I'm gonna hit you up
We're about to
afterwards and let me
drive.
know how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna drive. But yeah, Skiing is Easy, baby.
There we go.
Cheers,
Thank you
man.
guys.
Love it.